Hello friends, you are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. In the products of the unconscious we discover mandala symbols, that is, circular and quaternary figures which express wholeness, and whenever we wish to express wholeness, we employ just such figures. I came to Freud for facts. I read the interpretation of dreams and I thought, oh, here's a man who is not just theorizing away. Here's a man who has got facts. We can hardly escape the feeling that the unconscious process moves spiral-wise around the center, gradually getting closer, while the characteristics of the center grow more and more distinct. Life is teleology par excellence. It is the intrinsic striving towards a goal, and the living organism is a system of directed aims which seek to fulfill themselves. Primitive superstition lies just below the surface of even the most tough-minded individuals, and it is precisely those who most fight against it who are the first to succumb to its suggestive effects. The time is a critical one, for it marks the beginning of the second half of life, when a metanoia, a mental transformation, not infrequently occurs. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The cinema, like the detective story, makes it possible to experience without danger all the excitement, passion, and desirousness which must be repressed in a humanitarian ordering of life. So they speak soothingly about progress and the greatest possible happiness, forgetting that happiness is itself poison if the measure of suffering has not been fulfilled. That which compels us to create a substitute for ourselves is not the external lack of objects, but our incapacity to lovingly include a thing outside of ourselves. Liverpool is the pool of life. It makes to live. We do not feel as if we were producing the dreams. It is rather as if the dreams came to us. They are not subject to our control, but obey their own laws. The person who looks outward dreams. The person who looks inward awakens. The seed of faith, however, is not consciousness but spontaneous religious experience, which brings the individual's faith into immediate relation with God. No one should deny the danger of the descent, but it can be risked. No one need risk it, but it is certain that someone will. And let those who go down the sunset way do so with open eyes, for it is a sacrifice which daunts even the gods. Yet every descent is followed by an ascent. What you call knowledge is an attempt to impose something comprehensible on life. The symbols of the self arise from the depths of the body. 4. In order to turn the individual into a function of the state, his dependence on anything beside the state must be taken from him. About a third of my cases are suffering from no clinically definable neurosis, but from the senselessness and emptiness of their lives. I have gradually learned to be cautious even in disbelief. Observance of customs and laws can very easily be a cloak for a lie so subtle that our fellow human beings are unable to detect it. Whereas I formerly believed it to be my bounden duty to call other persons to order, I now admit that I need calling to order myself. St. Thomas is really a great man quite apart from his saintliness. The psychiatrist knows only too well how each of us becomes the helpless but not pitiable victim of his own sentiments. Sentimentality is the superstructure erected upon brutality. Art is a kind of innate drive that seizes a human being and makes him its instrument. To perform this difficult office, it is sometimes necessary for him to sacrifice happiness and everything that makes life worth living for the ordinary human being. Creative powers can just as easily turn out to be destructive. It rests solely with the moral personality whether they apply themselves to good things or to bad. And if this is lacking, no teacher can supply it or take its place. Without playing with fantasy, no creative work has yet come into being. The wrong we have done, thought, or intended will wreak its vengeance on our souls. Psychiatrists classify a person as neurotic if he suffers from his problems in living, and a psychotic if he makes others suffer. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of awareness of darkness, as the contrast between what we have and how it could be worse is vital to appreciate anything, including our life, and so be happy and grateful. All my writings may be considered tasks imposed from within. Their source was a fateful compulsion. What I wrote were things that assailed me from within myself. I permitted the spirit that moved me to speak out. Thanks for watching. Check out these educational videos too.